السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. معكم الدكتور غيث الرفاعي. في هذه السلسلة من الفيديوز راح نتعلم كيفية البدء باستخدام الجيتسون نانو بورد. المواضيع الأساسية اللي راح نغطيها بهذه السلسلة، بداية راح نعطي مقدمة سريعة عن الجيتسون نانو. الخطوة الثانية راح نتعلم كيف ننزل الأوبريتنج سيستم اوف جيتسون نانو على ال SD card. الأوبريتنج سيستم is called JetPack. الخطوة الثالثة راح نتعلم كيف نعمل headless setup for Jetson Nano using application called No Machine. الخطوة الرابعة راح نطبق real time object detection using USB web camera باستخدام واحدة من ال AI algorithm that's called YOLO, you only look once. بداية الجيتسون نانو is a small computer designed mainly for artificial intelligence applications, computer visions and AI robots. So فعليا إذا بدك تعمل ديزاين لروبوت بيستخدم الكمبيوتر فيجن for object avoidance or for line following, Jetson Nano is the right word to use it. هلا البورتس الموجودة عندنا على الجيتسون نانو موضحة بالأرقام من 1 ل 9. في عندنا بورت رقم 8 هو البورت أو البارل جاك اللي من خلاله بنعمل باور سبلاي للبورد. في عندنا ports 7 and 6 are HDMI to connect to a monitor, and 6 is a display to connect to LCD. في عندنا 4 USB ports بالعادة بنستخدمهم for mouse, keyboard, USB camera. Then في عندنا Ethernet port. This one is used to connect to internet and to connect to a computer in the headless setup. رقم 3 هو micro USB port. بنستخدمه to connect الجيتسون نانو to a computer. And then في عندنا الميبي CSI connectors اللي هي رقم 9 نستخدمهم عشان نعمل connection لكاميراز that supports the MIPI. And then رقم 1 عندنا اللي هي السلوت اللي راح نستخدمها to insert the micro SD card. We have to pay attention إنه sometimes if we buy the Jetson Nano with eMMC memory, this micro SD slot may not work, so you have to use one of these USB ports to connect the micro SD card. And في عندنا general input output ports. Those are mainly used to connect to for example sensors or actuators in case we are designing an AI robot. When you order Jetson Nano, you will get only the board. راح تحصل البورد لحاله، ما راح يكون معه كل شيء بنحتاجه to get started with Jetson Nano. هلا to have a complete setup for Jetson Nano in addition to the board راح نحتاج micro SD card. The recommended size is 32 gigabyte or more. بيعتمد على حسب المشروع اللي بدك تستخدمه. Then we need a micro USB cable. Micro USB cable will be used to connect the board to the computer to do the initial setup. And then we need Ethernet cable to connect to the board to the internet. And finally, for headless setup, we need power supply. The required power supply for Jetson Nano is 5 volts 4 amperes. Now, if we want to use the board as a computer or as a headed setup, then we need also HDMI cable, monitor, mouse, and keyboard. Okay, I personally prefer the headless setup because it is more portable. You can take بتقدر تاخذ البورد معك لأي مكان بدك إياه، سواء على الجامعة أو على الشغل or everywhere. All you need is just an Ethernet cable and your laptop, and you can just get started with the Jetson Nano. You can connect Ethernet and start programming it. عشان ننزل operating system of Jetson Nano, the JetPack, we need first to download the JetPack, the operating system image, and then راح نحتاج application to format the SD card. We will download SD card formatter. راح نحتاج كمان application to write the image on the SD card, so we need Win32 disk imager or Balena etcher. And then finally راح نحتاج software to communicate serially with the Jetson Nano board to do the initial setup for the JetPack. So we have to start by downloading all these softwares and applications. Let's see how we can get them. بداية to get the JetPack, all we need just go to Google, and here you just need to search for JetPack, and open the first link right there, JetPack SDK. It will open the link, and then we can see the latest JetPack right now, or the latest release is 6.2.1. By default, we have to download the latest JetPack 6.2.1, but sometimes you need to go to an older releases of JetPack. Sometimes it is required for certain algorithms. Algorithms used an older version of JetPack and it's incompatible with the new releases, or it depends on the Jetson hardware, especially if you are using Jetson with eMMC card. In this case, you have to download the JetPack that is compatible with your board. So if you want to go to the older releases of the JetPack, we can go down there, and there is a JetPack archive. If you click this one, we'll go back to all the older releases of JetPack 6.2, 6.1, 6.0, and so on. The one I'm going to install in my board due to compatibility with the eMMC, I'm going to go with JetPack 4.6.1. But in your case, you can go ahead and download the latest one if there is no preferences or there is no reason to go to an older versions of it. So if you just click this one, it will open 4.6.1, and then you can go Jetson Nano Developer Kit and download SD card imager. I'm already having it downloaded in my computer, so if I go to downloads and go to Jetson, this is what you will have. You will have Jetson Nano image as a zipped file. If you unzip it and go inside it, you will have this file, and the extension of the file is .emg. So this is an image of the JetPack that we will install in the computer. Again, the next software we need is the SD card formatter to format it. So the way we can get these tools is, again, I will open another Google page, and in this one I would say Jetson Nano board. Click this one, and then there is this link, get started with Jetson Nano Developer Kit. Click this one. Okay, so this link will give us an introduction about the Jetson Nano, the different ports of it. And the side, في عنا هنا write image to micro SD card. Click this link. And if you are using Windows, you have to choose instructions for Windows. So again, instructions for Windows, we need SD card formatter. And they provided the link for SD card formatter. So you can just click this one. And from there, you can download the SD card formatter. And then the other application we need to flash is the etcher. This is the link to etcher. You can again click this one and download it. Sometimes if you are buying the board from third party like Yahoo, etcher may not work to write the image on the board, so you might need to go ahead and install another software called 132 Disk Imager. So again, all you need just to Google it, 132 Disk Imager. And this is the official website. You can go, so this is how the interface will look like, and then you can just go with the exe and download it in the computer. And so we get the JetPack, get the SD card formatter, the 132 disk imager, and finally we need to download the PuTTY to do the serial communication. So I can go and search for PuTTY, download, and this is the link, the second one. So from this one you can select this link for Windows 64-bit and do the download. By downloading all these applications and software, we have everything to get started with the flashing the SD card with the imager and do the initial setup for the Jetson Nano. بعد ما نزلنا كل السوفتويرز والابلكيشنز اللي بنحتاجهم عشان نبلش نعمل داونلود للاوبريتنج سيستم على الميموري كارد او الاس دي كارد. Now we'll start the download process. أول شغلة we need to read the SD card in a computer. طبعا I'm working on a Windows computer. This tutorial is mainly for Windows computer. Now we can see the 64 gigabyte memory. أول شغلة بدنا نعملها we have to format it. So I have to go for SD card formatter. I'll open this application. عملنا له download من شوي. Okay, now the application will detect automatically the SD card. If you have more than one SD card connected to the computer, you have to select the right one. Okay, so I just have one, so it is D drive. It is already selected a quick format, so I just hit the format button. بحكينا, are you sure you want to erase the card? Yes. Doesn't take long time, just a few seconds. Okay, هيك بنكون خلصنا أول step. We did formatting for the SD card. Now the next step is to start flashing the JetPack image on the SD card. So again, for that one, we need the software Win32 disk imager. طبعا احنا حكينا we have more than one application. Balena Etcher is another option, but for some reason I prefer to use this one. هلا في عنا هون again it detected the device اللي هو اللي خلينا نحكي destination, the SD card where the image will be flashed on, and هون we have to select the location of the JetPack image اللي هي الابلكيشن او خلينا نحكي الاوبريتنج سيستم اللي عملنا له داونلود from the NVIDIA website. So I have to select from there. الفايل موجود عندي على downloads Jetson Nano 4.6.1. So if I go inside this one, I will have this file. Just to look again, I think I showed you this. The properties, the file should be, the extension is .image. Okay. So نعمل selection for the operating system, and then we can start writing. Writing physical device can corrupt the device. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Now the flashing the SD card with the JetPack image has started. هلا هون we can see it is 0, 1%, 2%. Once it is done, it will show us a message that flashing is completed. بعد ما خلصنا installation or the flashing of the JetPack on the SD card, now we'll do the headless setup for the Jetson Nano. زي ما احنا شايفين بالصورة هون, this is our board, the Jetson Nano. The first thing, again, we need the power supply 5 volts 4 amperes to the barrel jack. ال SD card اللي عملنا عليها flashing للJetPack has to be connected to the Jetson Nano board. My Jetson Nano has eMMC 16 gigabyte in the back, so I cannot connect it directly to the board. And if you bought Jetson Nano without eMMC, there is a slot in the back. You can just insert the SD card directly. If there is eMMC, you can just use this SD card to USB reader and connect the SD card to the Jetson Nano. We also need Ethernet cable between the Ethernet port on the board and the Ethernet port in the computer to connect to internet, and then we need the micro USB cable between the board and the PC. So mainly this is all we need for headless setup. Again, headless setup means there is no separate monitor or mouse or keyboard. And if you want to do headed setup, all you need is just HDMI cable from this port to a monitor, and then you can use USB mouse and USB keyboard, and you are done. You can just get started with it. Okay. So this is the first step. We did all the connections we want. Now, the next thing we need to do is to be able to provide internet to the board. We have to do some setup for the computer. So we have to go to Ethernet settings. In this one, we have to go to change adapter options. اوكي هلا عندي هون انا ايثرنت 2 ايثرنت 3 and we have Wi-Fi. الجيتسون نانو board is connected to this port Ethernet and I have internet through the Wi-Fi. What I have to do, I have to change the settings of the Wi-Fi بحيث اني اخلي الكمبيوتر عندي يشتغل as modem. بصير الكمبيوتر ياخذ واي فاي ويعطي انترنت على الايثرنت port to the board. So to do that, all I need to just do on the Wi-Fi, I have to go to properties. Okay, and then في عنا option sharing. Just choose sharing. هلا هون في عنا allow other networks, network users to connect through this computers. By default, this one is unchecked. Okay, all you need is just to check this one. بعدين هون from this one you have to select which to which port you want to give this Ethernet. So Ethernet 1 or Ethernet 2 or Ethernet 3. Okay. So in this case, we need to do it for Ethernet. Okay. Now let's go to the initial settings. Once you connected the board to the USB, it should be recognized by computer. So if we go to the device manager in the computer and check for ports, in the ports we have the board connected to COM6. So we need to know the COM number to be able to connect to using PuTTY software. So now I will start the PuTTY, PuTTY. And this one, we have to connect to the board. Initially, we have to do serial connection. In the serial, we have to select the COM number. In my computer is COM6, and your computer might be different, so you have to check on the device manager. This is COM6. The speed for Jetson Nano has to be 11.5.200. Okay, so that way we are ready to connect. So if we hit open, we are going to get to this page where we can start the initial settings for the Jetson Nano. So the first one, let me just maximize it a little bit to make sure that you can see. Okay, license agreement. So we have to agree to license, tab, then hit OK, enter. Okay, now we have to select the language. I'll set up using English. This is to select the location. You can select your location. I will go with the United States for now. And then the time zone Eastern. Is this clock set? Yes, this is again time settings. Okay, now you have to provide the username. So you can do, for example, I will do it my name, Faith. Hit OK. Again, username for the account. I'll keep it the same, Faith. And then password, you can select your own password. Just remember, you have to remember it because it will be needed. Okay, please enter the desired size of application partition in megabytes. I usually keep it the same. It is, I want the whole memory, 64 gigabyte, to be used as for applications. So I can just go and hit OK in this option. Okay, in this one, your system has multiple network interfaces. Choose the one to use the primary network interface. I'll choose the Ethernet. Okay, now it is asking for host name. You can choose any name in your case. I'll just put it again, my name. And for this one, I will select Max. Now it's doing all the installations. I have to enter the username and then the password. Okay, now we are in the Jetson Nano. Now we can start writing any commands and it should be executed. So at this point عملنا installation للJetPack على ال SD card. We initialized our Jetson Nano and now we are ready to go. Now one of the good practices after finishing the installation or the initialization is to do update for the packages. So we can do sudo apt update. It will ask for the password. So it is important to always remember the password. It will be asked for many times. And in this step, we are updating all the packages on the JetPack. This may take time. Okay, now all the packages are up to date. Now the next step, we can also do upgrade. Sudo upgrade, and then again execute this one. This one will upgrade all the packages that needs to be upgraded. Do you want to continue? Yes. Now again, this might take time, depends on the packages you have installed initially. Okay, now the update is done and the upgrade is done. هلا في شغلة أخيرة بدنا نشوفها هون على البوتي is the IP address of the board. So to do that, we can just run if config and we can do Ethernet 0. So this one will show the IP address of the board. 192.168.137.75. And there is another way to communicate with the board with PuTTY using the IP address. So we can just cut this or copy it, and then we can close the PuTTY and open it again. عشان نعمل connection using the IP address, we have to make it المرة الأولى اخترنا serial. This time we have to select HSS and type the IP address right there, and then open, accept. And again, we are at the board. It is asking for a username and password. Okay. Now we are good to go. Okay. Again, we are in the board. Before we finish this record, I would like to show you an important package. We have to have it على الجيتسون نانو لأنه بيفرجينا الstatistics and a lot of information about Jetson Nano. So it is this one, the package called Jetson Stats. Okay, so you just need to Google Jetson Stats. It will take you to this page, this GitHub, and this is the command to run it. So just copy the command and we'll drop it there. Again, it's asking for a password. Okay, pip3 is not installed, so we have to install pip3 before we do this step. Okay, so to fix it, we need to install pip3. So this is the command sudo apt install python 3 pip. Now it is downloading the package. After this is done, we need to do reboot for the board. So to do the reboot, we do sudo reboot. Now we'll wait for, let's say, half a minute, 30 seconds, and we can just activate the PuTTY again to connect to the board. Okay, so after we installed the JetStats, I needed to reboot the board. So you have to do reboot. And to fix if you have any issues, you just need to do sudo apt upgrade the packages and it should work for you. So right now I will just run the jtop command. So لما نعمل run for jtop command, let me just minimize to see everything. It will show all the information about the different CPUs and GPUs in the board, the temperature, of each CPU and GPU. يعني كمان there are different tabs for GPU, CPU, memory. You can look at all of them. Info, it gives just a brief of the board. So على سبيل المثال البورد اللي عندنا is using Ubuntu 18.04. Python is a 3.6.9. The CUDA version is 10.2.3. CodeNN, TensorRT. All these information are important when it comes to running the let's say computer vision and AI algorithms. So you can get all the information from there. I think there is also a location that shows you the version of JetPack you flashed in your board. I think it is in the first one. So if we look to the first one, the JetPack we have in this board is 4.6.6, okay? Or it is L40 32.7.6.